All right, welcome back. Now, in the past week, South Africa got to know the contents of leaked emails about the state capture allegations associated with the Gupta family. It's been reported that there are up to 200,000 emails that are said to be leaked. The authenticity of these emails, of course, is yet to be tested. Meanwhile, it has also emerged that an investigation by the Hawks into state capture is proceeding, with the president's son and former Eskom CEO, Brian Molefe, part of the scrutiny. Now, looking at these and other events, of course, making political news in the country, we joined in our studios in Johannesburg by political analyst Ralph Mathekga. And Dr. Mathekga, good morning to you, and thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for inviting me.
Now, my first question, of course, there have been so many revelations for the past week. What is your take on these emails?
Well, I think that these emails, they change everything regarding the procedure we were following when it comes to the state of capture report that was released by former public protector Thuli Madonsela. I mean, the emails actually are so severe, and the events that they're explaining, some of the events actually, you can actually put some of the email back to some specific developments that have happened.
Which talks to the authenticity of the emails, like exactly. You're saying, the correlation of the events.
Indeed. I mean, I don't think there is anyone who can stand and challenge the authenticity of that. People have said those are fake news, but certainly some people who are implicated, some have come to explain that indeed they can be put where those emails are put in them, and some of those decisions. So for me, something has to be done urgently about them.
Yeah, it's not just some people who said the emails were fake news. It's actually the Gupta family.
Indeed, that is a classic defense these days. When information comes out in the public, the first defense is usually that is fake. But this one, I mean, you can really see that they relate to the reality of what has happened in South Africa. And I don't think that defense that they are fake still holds. They are as authentic as they get, actually.
Yeah. And last week, the Hawks had said that they've worked on, they haven't really worked on any investigations, but it was also revealed a day before yesterday that they are likely to investigate this matter. What do you think the outcome would likely be?
I really think that the Hawks have been very non-committal as to what is their position regarding the emails. In some areas, they mention that they are undertaking investigation, but they don't want to specify exactly what is it that is being investigated. Are they investigating the sources of the leak, possible criminal prosecution out of people who leaked that, or are they investigating some of the claims that are being made within those emails? I find it very difficult. And again, if you look at the fact that the emails actually implicate many people within the executive, I don't think the Hawks will be better placed to undertake a meaningful investigation. You really need a commission. You need an independent inquiry that will be outside the executive, because the allegations coming out is that pretty much the entire executive in South Africa seems to be compromised.
Yeah, and talking about that judiciary, the SACP has actually called for that independent judicial commission into state capture, and some also want the Gupta state capture to be investigated. What do you think should happen in this regard?
I think that we should immediately think about having a commission of inquiry set, because remember, in terms of procedure, President Jacob Zuma is challenging the recommendations by in that public protector's report, and that court hearing is going to be held in October. What worries me is that, are we going to wait until October with all these emails coming out? Because some of the emails actually seems to imply that there might be crime underway while we wait. I think that I will agree with the SACP that something needs to be done very urgently. We need to go straight into the commission of inquiry. That court hearing around who has to appoint the judge, it is something that for me cannot wait until that late. It has to be expedited immediately. This for me is the most urgent. I cannot imagine anything urgent, because they are really corroding the credibility of government.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying this is an urgent matter, but do you think there will be an urgent response to it?
There has to be. I mean, if you are the executive, as it is the case in South Africa, people are saying all sorts of things about your decision. Certainly, you don't want to continue under this cloud of doubt. It is also in your own interest as the executive, as government, to have this thing fully investigated, so that you can remove that cloud of suspicion as to whose interest are you acting upon. For now, government has got a serious credibility crisis because of these emails.
Yeah, we've always been hearing about state capture and the Gupta family capturing the state, of course. But if you were to look at the events from these emails, were you really surprised at some of the issues that came out, some of well-known people that are implicated in the emails?
Some of us, we were not surprised. We are researchers, and I have stated also in my book that people are naive if they think the problem only goes to President Jacob Zuma, the person. I have stated that this could have wider implications, and people who have been doing some research and working around this, of course, they are aware of some of the information. Of course, when the leak comes out, 200,000 email, it changes everything, and it says that this issue is no longer subject to speculation. Is the closest you get to the reality. So we were not so surprised, but the email themselves indeed are a very interesting installment to something that we have been speculating about.
But in terms of the implications, Ndate Mathekga, what implications will be brought forward by these emails? Some information came from the email stating that the president is actually will be retiring to Dubai. A lot of information from the emails.
It raises so much suspicion. It actually says that, the allegation that the president will be retiring to Dubai, it actually says that whatever the president is doing, he's got no intention to sit an account. Once he's done with his term, he's going to be leaving. You can't operate under such kind of a clout as the president. You really want to shake that doubt, and I think it will be in the interest of our democracy that we actually undertake an inquiry into this. It implicates even people, I think, who need to defend themselves. And how do people defend themselves against this? Through a well-sanctioned commission of inquiry. For now, it's all these things circulating in the media. People do not think they've been given sufficient right of reply about the implications. So the best way is for us to actually, and for the interest of democracy in South Africa, to just expedite this and make sure that the commission is set up as soon as possible. We can't live like this. Each and every morning you are waiting for more allegations and so forth, but nothing is happening on the side of the state. I think that it is very corrosive to our democracy. We got to get this out of the way, and the only way to do that is to do an investigation.
Yeah. And what do you make of the response by, I think it was Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula during the briefing on Sunday, basically saying that they won't comment on that because it's got something to do with cyber attack?
Well, no doubt the emails were illegally attained. That is a private conversation between the Guptas, but it is beyond them. It is a private conversation about the resources, which is the state. And I think that you cannot just say that it's just a question of cyber attack. Of course, there might have been cyber attack, but we need to deal with the substance of the matter. Let us look into an inquiry about the extent to which the state is captured. While we are doing that in parallel, you can then do whatever measures you want to put into place to prosecute or find how it was leaked. For now, it's not about the messenger, it's about the message. The message is so compelling that we need to do something about it.
All right, let's just move along to one important issue, of course, the reappointment and the rescindment of Brian Molefe. Of course, he's challenged in this matter in court. He went to the Labour Court yesterday. What do you make of this whole case?
To be honest with you, for me, Mr. Molefe having the guts to go and challenge this thing in court, whereas it has been written with impropriety all along, it just shows how daring people who are involved in this kind of criminal enterprise, because this is bordering on criminal enterprise. Why would he do that? Whose support does he have to undertake such kind of a measure? For me, it just shows that the entire ESCOM is just being seen as a criminal enterprise where people are going to gain, even trying to enforce potentially illegal contracts such as this one that Mr. Molefe is standing upon. It's actually worrying that he doesn't worry about what the public thinks. It's about litigation. There is no moral basis for this kind of conduct.
All right. A quick one on Helen Zille and Mmusi Maimane. The events that unfolded on Saturday, of course, it looks like two communications came out from two different leaders. What do you make of the situation around Helen Zille?
Well, Helen Zille continues to behave as if she's an entity within the DA. She carries herself as if she's above the DA. For her to go take to the public podium and challenge Mmusi Maimane, challenge an official communication from the DA, it then says that she's got no respect for those people, those leaders within the DA. And I really don't think, I think the DA just need to get rid of her once and for all, and maybe they'll be done with this unnecessary problems. Do you really think
this is a test for Mmusi Maimane to actually assert his authority as the DA leader?
Indeed, it is a test for Mmusi Maimane, not just as an individual, but as a black leader within the DA, as to whether is he independent thinking or does he continue to carry himself as a protege of Helen Zille. This, I think, need to come clear once they've dealt with this.
Ndate Mathekga, there is so much to talk about, but due to time constraints, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. More also how this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Ralph Mathekga chatting to us about some of the country's current topical issues here on Morning Live. Let's quickly take a short break. When we come back, we are off to